energy come from?
Okay, so he was saying
No. Where did?
So basically, he mentioned the verse in the Quran where Allah says,
How can you prove to me that the universe always exists?
that nothing.
Everything that you experience in the universe has a beginning. This tree right here, have a look at this tree, my lady, right? Have a look at this tree. Can you say that this come from nothing, that this always existed? No, this goes against your natural instinct that the tree must have a beginning.
time itself, right? Time itself is malleable. It's not set in stone.
Thank you very much. So, doesn't there have to be originator
If you were to go
behind this tree? Wait. But the Big Bang postulates that it has a beginning. So anything that has a beginning requires an explanation as to why it's existing. The energy. What is this energy? How do you know that there is energy?
There might not
Right, let's put this to a practical example. Let's say, for example, I had a bow and arrow.
Even in a stone.
Yeah. Okay. So are you saying that energy? Let's go by your theory here. So you're saying energy is behind creating everything. Is that what you're saying? So you know when Steve Jobs, when he created the Apple iPhone, are you saying that energy created, or are you saying Steve Jobs?
Energy created.
No. But Steve Jobs used his energy. He used his energy to bring something to existence. Right. So there has to be consciousness. There has to be intelligent being.
It will spend an eternity going well, provided the arrow can travel.
Energy is just an attribute. Energy is just a characteristic.
It would travel.
Okay, it doesn't have any consciousness. It has no. Sorry. Energy itself is not even conscious. How can something that's not conscious bring something to consciousness like us? This is irrational, and it goes against your sound intellect, and it goes against your natural inclination.
That's what I was asking. Do you believe that the universe came into existence, or do you believe that it was predetermined?
Whatever our religion,
Yeah.
whatever our beliefs outside the main religion.
But we're not talking about religion right now. Religion is separate. Religion is separate. What we are talking about is there the creator or not? No. Forget about the Quran. Quran is a revelation from God. But we're not talking about whether the Quran is the word of God or not. We are talking about the existence of the creator, whether he exists or not. I don't need the Quran, I don't need the Bible, I don't need Hinduism to know that there's the creator. Energy, but energy is not conscious. Energy. But what's behind that energy?
It is all.
No. What's behind energy? If I want to create, sorry, my sister, would you agree that this bottle, right, it requires energy for this phone, bottle to exist? Okay, so what's behind that energy? Me. I'm behind that energy. I'm using that energy to create this bottle. That's exactly what I'm saying. But in Islamic theology, we don't use the word energy. We say Al-Qadir. Allah is all-powerful. We don't call energy, Allah is all-powerful.
We kind of believe the same thing, but we call it something different. We all believe the same sort of thing, but we call it something different.
So you believe there's the creator? The concept?
The universe is the creator.
The universe requires a creator. Okay, that right.
Mother Nature, universe.
No. But nature itself didn't create.
Sorry?
Nature itself doesn't create. No, it doesn't, because you know science. Science is the explanation of all the contingent things. So contingent.
Science explains.
No, science. No. Science is the explanation of all the contingent things. You understand? Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay, no problem. Thank you. Lovely talking to you too. Take care. All the best.
Alright, okay, sorry, yeah, continue. So
do you want to continue? Or?
Yeah, I do want to, because I find your point interesting, but I either don't understand it or I disagree with it.
No, look. What we say is, as human beings, we are emotional and rational beings, correct?
Yeah.
Right. So the beauty about Islam is, Islam aligns your sound intellect with your natural inclination. That's the reason why, with the Prophet, peace be upon him, he said in a hadith that every child is born in a state of fitra, in a state of inclining towards believing there's the creator. But his parents make him a Jew or a Christian, right? So from the fitrah, everything that you see here, you know there has to be originator. The ground, our own existence, the trees, the grass, everything, the universe, everything, you know there's a beginning. If I was to ask you, this bottle here, can you say this bottle come from nothing?
But you're saying no. So, like, say the thing that you said. If you drop a cup on the floor, is it going to become a frog by random?
Okay.
That's not how it works, right? That's not how it happens. It's not. That's what I was saying before. It's not an instantaneous. It's a process. It's not instantaneous.
So are you saying? Are you saying there's a possibility that if I drop this cup, it'll become a frog?
No, but I'm saying. Okay, let me use your example. I don't like your example, but I'll use your example.
No, why not? Why not?
No, I'll use it.
You
So
say.
drop,
Okay, go on.
Okay,
Sorry.
So you drop the cup on the floor.
Yeah.
Over thousands of years, that cup will degrade, and eventually one particle, one atom from that cup may end
It's all
up
speculation.
inside a frog.
It's all speculation.
It's all speculation.
Let's talk about things that we are certain. Let's talk about things that we know.
What is the alternative in your mind? So you're saying that...
What's the speculation that I'm saying that everything that we experience, we know there's a beginning. And if there's a beginning, there has to be an explanation of why it begins. There has to be the creator.
How is it any less likely that we evolved from randomness, that there was somebody in the
Let's
sky
understand.
that created us?
Let's understand evolution. Evolution basically means a transformation from one state to another.
Not necessarily.
Yes, it does. Is evolution
One state from another.
Okay, can I ask you a question? Right. Does evolution say nothing can pop into something? It doesn't say that. Evolution just says something into something, not nothing into something.
Right,
So we are addressing the origin, not the evolution. Please, I want you to understand that. Right? We're not talking about evolution.
I'm talking about evolution.
By the way,
You're
Charles,
talking about the origin of people, right?
Yeah.
If we're talking about the origin of people specifically.
Origin of our existence.
Okay, so then, in that case, I need to look into this more, to be honest.
Okay, no problem.
But
no problem.
I've
But you know,
small amount about it.
But you know from your natural inclination that everything that you see around here, you say there must be a creator. There must be creative.
No. I disagree with that.
So you're saying this camera here, what, this popped from nothing?
Okay, no. Man-made things obviously were created by man. I'm saying everything.
So what's more complex, the man-made or nature, or the universe?
Nature. There's also been a huge space of time, and so there's the universe is potentially infinite, right?
Right. No, you're saying potentially infinite.
I'm sure you've heard this analogy before.
Yeah, I have.
If you get an infinite number of monkeys for an infinite amount of time, eventually at a typewriter, eventually one of those monkeys will type out the entire.
Do you know what? You contradict yourself in your analogy, because you said infinite number. Hang on. Number.
Infinite amount.
Even amount.
What do you mean?
Okay. Infinite meaning forever. Numbers is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
So mathematical perspective.
Exactly. So I'm asking so infinity doesn't quantify.
No, infinity. You can't quantify infinity.
Exactly. So you cannot say infinite number or infinite amount.
Okay. No. But okay. If you get infinite monkeys.
No, not even monkeys.
Why not?
Because
it can't happen in real life.
Go
for the sake of the argument, if you were to get an infinite amount of monkeys,
you can't say amount.
You can say amount.
You can't. Look, infinity has no numbers. Infinity is forever.
Infinity, yeah. So infinity is 1 going up to infinity.
No.
This is.
Okay, so where did the 1 come from? You said 1.
No.
Is that infinite? What came before 1?
It's 0.9.
No, it's self-contradiction.
So 0.9 recurring, right? So that's
okay, where did 0.09? But before 0.09, there's 0.08.
No, that's what I'm saying. So that's.
It's a contradiction. It's a self-contradiction.
You're going into I can't explain it. You're going into extremely complex math.
No, I'm not, because when you say infinite amount, that's a paradox. It's like saying married bachelor. You can't be married and at the same time you're single. That's what you're saying. So infinity doesn't exist in the real world. It doesn't. It's just a concept.
It's just. So can I just?
It's an abstract. It doesn't exist.
It's like saying an actual infinite cannot exist.
Yeah.
A beginningless series of events is an actual infinite. So therefore, an actual infinite cannot exist.
Okay, so take a circle, right?
One second, baby, hold on. So, as the brother mentioned, right, you cannot have, if you have an infinite line of soldiers, right, and the first soldier in the line said, fire to the last soldier in the line, would the information reach the last soldier in an infinite number of soldiers?
No, it takes, so the information is traveling for an infinite amount of time.
Thank you very much. So therefore, an actual infinite number of things cannot exist.
Cannot exist.
It's impossible. It's impossible to say that the first soldier in that line would give the instruction to fire, and the last person in that actual infinite number of
because you're
soldiers.
trying to assign infinity to tangible things.
No, what I'm saying is that it leads to mathematical contradictions.
Yeah, correct.
That's what I'm trying
Correct.
to say.
It's a mathematical
Is that
contradiction.
It's impossible for an actual infinite number of things to exist.
Correct.
So what I'm saying is that
So in your mind, right, we have the universe. What is past the universe?
look, we know that the universe is expanding, right?
Into what?
Okay. Are you aware that the universe is expanding?
Yeah, but I'm asking, like, in your opinion, what is the universe expanding into?
Okay. For example, I'll give you a verse in the Quran, right? Allah says that He is expanding the universe, right?
Sorry.
Now,
No, just for a second, Forget what the Quran says. What is the universe? Scientifically, right? Bearing in mind, I'm not religious.
By the way, I don't subscribe to the Big Bang. I don't particularly believe in the Big Bang. I know there's different cosmological models behind the Big Bang. There's cosmic inflation. There's the Big Crunch. I understand that,
Yeah.
right? I don't.
Theory. It's a theory.
It's a
You don't have to
theory.
believe in
However,
everything.
one thing I do agree is that the universe has its origin. It has a beginning.
Okay, sure. By the way, let me just go back
That's
to
it.
that quickly.
Okay, go on.
So, you said the universe is expanding. What is the universe expanding into?
no, what I was trying.
If infinity cannot exist, and the universe
No, the reason
is
why.
expanding,
No, the reason why I was bringing up the reason why I was bringing up an actual infinite number of things cannot exist.
Yeah.
Is purely because it brings about a mathematical contradiction. And
but
hold on one second.
I do get
Hold
what
on
you're
one second. Bear with me. And the reason why I gave you that example earlier, right, that it's impossible for, and I gave you the example about a bow and arrow. A bow and arrow is unable to reach an infinite. It will traverse. It will literally travel at an infinite distance to reach the
Again,
tree.
because
So
you are
therefore,
trying to assign infinity to something tangible. So just humor me and answer the question I asked, right? The universe is expanding.
Okay.
What is the universe expanding into?
okay, we know that the universe expands.
Okay, but into what? Into what? So say my hands right now, they're expanding into air. What is the universe expanding into?
Okay, if the universe was to contract, right,
Yeah, exactly.
would it come back to a singular point?
Yes, it will.
Right.
So it's going away from that singular point. What's beyond it? What is it going into?
That's what we want. We want to ask you. That's what we want.
No,
That's
but
that's
I'm
what we're
asking you,
discussing about.
What is that going into?
But you're going into evolution. That's exactly the
I'm
point
not
we're
going
trying.
to evolution. In that specific,
That's
it's
it.
going into
Good.
infinity.
Now we come to the point. So what came before the Big Bang? That's what we
We
are.
don't know what came before. So there's
We do know.
several theories. There's say I know you don't believe in the Big Bang. Let's say Big Bang, Big Crunch. One theory is that
Go on.
the Big Bang it
Right.
expands, it contracts back into the Big Crunch.
Yes,
Big Bang
yes,
again, Big
yes.
Crunch, Big Bang, Big Crunch, and that's a cycle.
So
that
what
goes on-
caused
that
the
goes
spark?
on.
Okay, so if the universe expanded and it
Yeah.
contracts,
Yeah.
what caused that to exist? What caused that to literally start to expand?
Yeah.
What is the origin of that? How
What is
did
the
it?
origin of the universe? We don't know the answer to that question, and I don't think it's right.
Let's use our sound
to
reasoning.
say God is the answer to that question. In my mind, that's you don't know the answer to a question, so you just say, okay.
No,
the
no, no,
answer's
no, no.
God. It's the same like dark matter is something in physics.
No,
we
but-
don't understand what that
Brother,
is.
what's your
What I'm
name?
saying is that-
Brother, what's your
Given
name?
it's something that we don't
Sorry,
understand.
brother, what's your name? Sorry.
Yasha.
Yasha.
Yeah.
Raihan, nice to meet you, man. Look, let me tell you one thing, right? You saying that we don't know.
Yeah.
For me, this is a cop out, and I'll tell you why. If I was to ask you the question, try and circular triangle. Can you prove to me that does it exist? First of all, circular triangle.
No.
Why not?
It's a triangle, it's a triangle, a circle, it's a circle.
Okay. So what kind of scientific experiments did you conduct to come to the conclusion that science triangular circle
We haven't
doesn't
come
exist?
to any science. No, it's the way we've assigned a certain shape to a triangle. We've assigned a certain shape as a circle.
Yeah.
We haven't tested either of them. It's what we've
You can't even test. It's
We
impossible.
don't need to test it because we've assigned.
No, no, no,
We've,
according
we've
to-
assigned it to them. We've made it.
No, according to the scientific method, you cannot disprove or prove whether there is triangular circle. That's my whole point. So you have to use rationality, reasoning. So why don't we apply the same to the universe?
See, you said my view was a cop out. I actually think the same about yours because
Why?
I don't know the answer to the start of the universe. But the entire point of science, right?
Yeah.
Well, not the entire point of science, but a big thing in science is trying to find out.
How do you know that?
You're not trying to find
how
out.
do
You said that you already know the
How
answer.
do you know
don't
triangular
I
circular
don't see
doesn't
how you
exist?
can know the
How
answer.
do you know triangular circular doesn't exist?
I
What-
don't
what scientific experiments
I
did you
don't
conduct?
understand
I think
the
you do.
point That you're trying to, I genuinely don't understand.
Yasha,
the point you're trying to
look. Why do you say that the triangle circle doesn't exist?
make. Because we've assigned this shape to a triangle, and we've assigned this shape as a circle, right?
Okay.
We've assigned those names to those shapes.
Okay, so we conceptualize. I agree with that. We conceptualize that. I agree with that. But why is it not possible, even if you put it into probabilistic model, why is it not possible that it can exist. It's impossible. Why? Because it goes against sound reasoning. A triangle. Sorry, 1 second. Yes, look, 1 second. A triangle. What? You can't prove to me empirically that triangle circle doesn't exist. That's the whole point I'm making. You use your reasoning. That look, the reason why triangle circle doesn't exist
the reason that you can't prove that empirically is because it's impossible.
Exactly.
Empirical evidence means you need like.
But I can use empirical evidence for the existence of the creator.
How?
I'll give you one example. Look at the signs around you. Look at the signs around you. The trees, the universe, the stars, the planets. There's a powerful verse in the Quran. Allah says, "Inna fi khalqis samawati wal ard." That verily in the creation of the heavens and the earth, waqtilafi al-layli wan nahar, and in the alternation of night and day, it is a sign for those who understand. It is a sign. For example.
How have you proved?
Okay, this building. I'll tell you what. This building right here. Okay, imagine if I say this building popped from nothing. It just existed itself. What would you say?
That's not my argument. I'm not saying that everything. It's not like there was nothing, right? And then bang,
No, we've already moved on. No, we've already moved on. But I'm asking you, that building, the cement, the rocks, all of the ingredients, it all came together.
The origins of those things, right?
The origin. Where did this come from? The building. Any child will say, oh, there must be a builder. It's your natural inclination. Right. So what about the universe that's far more complex? Look at the earth. Look at the skies. What about the laws of physics? What about the laws of physics? Laws cannot pop from nothing. The law has to be given by a lawgiver. And you know that. You know that from your natural inclination. What you're doing is you're fighting against your natural inclination. That's what you're doing. And even in spite of that, even despite of that, even Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you rational decisive proofs. Am khuliqu min ghayri shay'in am humul khaliqun. Were they created from nothing? You know you cannot create from nothing. Or did they create themselves? That's impossible. Am khalaqu samawati wal ard. Did you create the heavens and the earth? Absolutely not, because you didn't exist. The universe existed way before you. But la yakunun, surely they're uncertain. When you suppress your belief in the existence of the creator, anything that you say is uncertain. But when you believe that there's the creator, you know the certainty. I exist, you know the certainty. Wallahi, this is a sign around you.
In my mind, the reason you think that's a certainty is because we've assigned religion to describe things that
I'm not even talking about religion. I'm not talking about religion.
We've used religion to explain things that we cannot explain.
No. You misunderstood the point. You misunderstood the point. The reason why I'm quoting from the Quran, I believe the Quran has the best arguments, rational proofs, decisive proof for the existence of the creator. Please understand this. That doesn't mean I'm trying to preach that the Quran is the word of God. I'm not saying that. But I'm using arguments from the Quran and the Sunnah, from the teachings of the Prophet. Right? Look, how did the Quran 1400 years ago, this powerful argument that no one can refute, it's supposed to be rhetorical. Were you created from nothing? Of course not. Did you create yourself? Of course not. Did you create the heavens and earth? Of course not. So what's the only option that is left? There has to be the creator that always existed. No beginning, no end, that has the knowledge to bring the power to bring the universe into existence. That must have the power to bring the universe into existence. And must have knowledge, wisdom, power. What you're doing right now, you're fighting against your natural inclination.
But I disagree with so you're saying nothing cannot create something, right? I agree with that.
Okay, good. Let's move on. Can it create itself?
No. But I disagree with the idea that there is a God that has used, like, the God. So
Good. Okay.
So, what's the alternative? That's what I'm saying. What is the alternative in your mind? Are you saying that God creates something out of nothing?
Yes.
There's nothing apart from God.
Yes, I agree with that. Because why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says?
But why can God create something out of nothing?
Because the creator always existed. The creator is all powerful. He can. No. We don't use the term infinite. We don't know. We don't say the creator is infinite. What we say that the creator always existed. Right? We don't use the term infinity. We don't.
Why can the creator always exist but the universe can't always exist?
Because the universe has a beginning.
How do you know?
The Big Bang.
You said you don't believe in that.
No. But I'm saying according to I'm using. No. You misunderstood. I'm going. So look. First of all, there's scientific evidence and you have rational evidence. Scientific evidence, according to cosmologists, they say that the universe has a beginning, which is the Big Bang. The rational evidence is everything we experience in the universe has a beginning. You know that. So how can the universe existed all the time?
So, okay,
The tree is part of the
Go
universe.
back to
We're
what I
part
said,
of the
Big Bang,
universe.
even the Big Bang itself, right? It does not say that there was nothing. It says the Big Bang theory is that the universe as it is now was clustered into an extremely small space, and eventually it exploded, right?
Okay, no problem. For the sake of argument. For the sake of
even then,
argument.
even with the
So
Big
that
Bang,
matter,
it was
that
still there.
right. So that matter, without any external force, without any external influence, can that matter bring into existence by itself? That's what the Quran is asking you.
That's no, but you're saying that there's always a God. I'm saying why could that matter not have always been there in the same way
But
that your God is
no.
always there?
But I'm asking you that. Look, you see, science, the science, is the explanation of all the contingent things, all the physical things, right? You cannot go beyond that.
In my mind,
You then have to go into philosophy.
You said tangible things can't exist forever, so I'm going to come up with something intangible.
But I'm not saying God is tangible or intangible. We don't use that terminology. We don't use that. What we say that Almighty God, He is one and only, absolute, eternal, self-sufficient. He begets not, nor is He begotten. There's nothing unto Him.
He's not tangible.
No, I'm not. Look.
Factually,
No.
God is intangible.
We don't use in our theology. We don't use these terms. The reason why, because it's not affirmed in the Quran and the teachings of the Prophet. What we do say is that Allah is the originator. He's the originator of heavens and the earth. That the Creator, Al-Awwal wal-Akhir. He's the first and the last. Allah is Al-Qadir. He's all powerful. Allah is one and only. Allah is self-sufficient. He doesn't, meaning that everything depends upon Him, but He doesn't depend on anything.
I go back to the same point. Why can't the universe have existed?
Because everything that you experience in the universe, you know there's a beginning. This tree, you know there's a beginning. The grass, you know there's a beginning.
I'm talking about the universe itself.
But we are part of the universe.
Of course we're part of the universe.
Of course.
Okay.
So
Allah's not part of this universe.
Allah is not part of the universe. No. Allah is above the heavens.
You said that everything that we know must have a beginning.
Yes.
Therefore, but then you've just come up with something that doesn't have a beginning, and you're just like, right.
Okay, so you give me a solution how we can have beginning of existence forever. How? Prove to me. Let's look at your.
It's not something
I can prove to you.
You can't prove
I
that.
can. Let me give you.
You can use your religion.
No.
You can use
I'm
your
not. I'm
religion
going to
to
use
tell
you.
me
I'm
what
going to
it
use
is.
you.
Alright, go on.
You're in existence. You yourself is a proof of God's existence. Imagine this. If I was to ask you, you came from, infinite ancestors. Infinite ancestors. Your parents, then your parents, your parents, then parents,
Well,
and parents.
okay.
Right. Would you ever exist?
Huh?
Would you ever exist?
Sorry, what do you mean?
Right, so your own existence, you have parents, right? You have grandparents. Can you have infinite? Or there has to be a stopping point?
No, you can't have infinite.
Thank you. There has to be a stopping point.
So the theory of evolution dictates that you start from a single cell.
I'm not talking about evolution.
I'm talking about evolution.
No.
Because you are talking about evolution.
No, I'm not talking about evolution. I'm talking about our lineage, our ancestors.
But our lineage is directly, we evolved from different ancestors.
No.
We eventually became human.
No.
And became us.
No.
You are talking about evolution.
Even for the sake of argument, you say you evolved from monkeys. I don't believe in that.
Right, okay.
Okay, fine. Can you have infinite?
No. So before
Thank you.
monkeys
So
came something else, before that came something
there
else.
has to be the first.
The first thing was a single-celled organism, and we do not know how that came into existence.
Thank you.
There's different theories. There's different theories. So there's quantum fluctuation. There's a whole range of theories.
Science cannot explain. Science cannot explain.
Science cannot explain right now.
Science can never.
Science is trying.
Science
you may
can
be right,
never.
You may be wrong. But
No,
science is trying to explain.
Science-
what you've done.
science can
You've
never.
got something intangible. You've got a religion, and you said this created it. You can't prove that.
Yasha, science can never ever explain how did the first cell come to existence. They can never. They can only explain the mechanism. They cannot give you the reason. They cannot.
So if science.
Because science doesn't delve into metaphysical things. They only delve into things that is within the physical
You're
world.
speaking as though the first organism to ever exist occurred through metaphysical things. If that's
No.
that's true, then you're right. If that's
No.
true, then you're-
What I'm saying to you is you're saying that science can come to an explanation. How did the first cell come? But
First
science
cell-
doesn't.
no, but if the first cell did not come through metaphysical means, then you can explain it through scientific means. If the first cell did come through metaphysical means, then you are correct. But my point is, we don't know whether the first cell came from metaphysical.
What does metaphysics mean? What does it mean?
I don't know. Beyond
Can science prove
It came from
metaphysical?
nothing.
Yeah.
No. Beyond physics, metaphysics being like it was
Right.
created by
So
an external
so
force
that's
outside
what I'm
of our
saying.
universe.
That's what I'm saying.
So if the first organism in the world
Yes.
was created through metaphysical means, then yes, you are correct. Science cannot explain it. However,
That's
no,
it.
but if the first organism came into existence through scientific means,
He
which is
cannot.
entirely
He
possible.
cannot. No, he
Why
cannot.
not?
He cannot because there's wait. Hang on. Yasha. Because there's nothing before the first.
No. So
That's what I'm saying.
this is
So
the issue. This is
wait. Yasha. Look.
Do you know any
Look.
absolute truth?
We're talking about the origin. We're talking about the origin of the first matter. That's what we're asking you.
I know what you're saying, right? But it was the same when you were talking about infinity, right? You ask me questions related to maths that I don't understand. I don't know maths to that level.
I'm not. No. We've moved on. I asked you. Can you have infinite ancestors?
No. It's not that. Physics goes beyond what I understand.
nice
Right?
day.
I don't understand. No. I don't understand certain branches of physics. I don't know enough. There's quantum level physics. There's string theory. There's a whole array.
So Yasha, with all due
complicated
respect, what you're telling me is you're not certain about anything. That's what you're saying. You know what?
I'm not certain about anything. I'm saying I'm not certain as to our origin.
But do you acknowledge that you have an origin?
Of course.
Right. So you cannot say the universe always existed then, because it has an origin. It has a starting point.
I, as a person, had an origin. You cannot say that the universe always. I am not the universe. I am in the universe. Yes.
Yeah,
But that does not mean that the universe had an origin in the same way.
No. You are part of the universe. That's what I'm saying.
That doesn't
Even
matter.
the stars, don't they die? Don't they die? And then there's a birth, death, right? Right. So there's a beginning. Everything has a beginning in the universe. So I'm asking you, if there's a beginning, why does it exist? There has to be a will. So what we say is Almighty God willed for this universe to exist. Because it is nothing but potential existence.
You cannot prove the existence of a God. And with this, I understand that you're never going to prove God. You have to believe in God, right?
No, I can prove to you God. Because the rational proofs. Look, think about this. The proof is, first of all, your own existence. Your own existence is a proof. Prove to me gravity exists.
We don't understand gravity.
No.
There's a huge amount of things that we don't understand.
No. I'm not talking about whether you understand gravity or not. Do you acknowledge there is gravity?
So again, with gravity is extremely complicated. We do not.
No.
To acknowledge that there is gravity,
Yasha,
I need to understand gravity.
Yasha, please, with all due respect, and I'm not here to interrogate you.
No, I know.
You can.
No, this is an interesting debate.
Thank you, Yasha. Look, what I'm asking you, I'm not talking about the complexity of the gravity. That's what I'm talking about.
I'm saying do you acknowledge something? So look, I can acknowledge that there's something keeping me on this ground, and we call that gravity.
Right.
However, I cannot say I know anything.
Can you
about
see gravity?
No, I cannot say I know anything about gravity.
No, I'm not talking about. No. Yasha.
No, but in
I'm
order
not
to
talking.
argue against you,
No,
I think
Yasha.
we argue in different
No.
ways.
Do you affirm that gravity exists?
I affirm that. Again, there is something keeping me down to this ground.
No. I'm not talking about beyond gravity. I'm asking you, do you believe in gravity?
Yes.
Okay, brilliant. So, but you say that you cannot see gravity, correct?
Yes.
We can only see the effects of gravity. Right. So the effects or the signs of God's of the existence of God is around us.
But we don't.
That's exactly the
like
point.
I said, we do not understand gravity in the same way we don't understand whether or not there's a.
Do you know why we don't understand gravity? Because we have limited senses. Yeah, we have limited observation.
We have limited senses,
Right.
but we also have limited information.
Yeah, of course, I agree with you.
know enough.
I agree with you. Which is the reason.
The more we know, the more we will understand things
Yeah.
like gravity. However, gravity is something very, very real to us.
Yeah.
Right? It's keeping us on this planet. You're saying, and
Which is the reason why you can.
yeah. This conversation that I'm having to you, it's not even related to Islam. It's literally
I
I'm
know.
arguing against all religions.
I know that. I'm not even talking about Islam. We're talking about whether there's the creator or not.
So going into like whether Islam is the right religion or not, that's a whole other debate. But as it stands, you cannot. I don't think you can compare gravity to a god. Yes, we can't see either of them. Yes, we see.
No, but I'm using your yardstick. If you believe that gravity exists and you cannot see gravity, but it affects, why can't you apply the same to the creator then? Why do we need to see the creator to know if the creator exists? Why can't we postulate that the creator exists by just looking at our own creation around us?
Gravity, I don't like.
That's a good point.
So I do need to look into
No,
this.
absolutely.
But I'd say the same. Gravity is something very, very, very poorly understood by us right now. Right? We know very, very little about
I know. I agree with you.
And
I agree.
gravity, therefore, is is the name that we have given to something that we don't fully understand.
I agree.
We have given the name gravity to the force that keeps us down.
Okay, let's talk about the mechanism. Okay, so you agree there's a
That's what I
mechanism.
was saying earlier. God
Yeah.
is what? It's just a name that we've given to something that we don't
I'm not talking about the name.
Religion is a way
No,
to-
I'm talking about the concept. Forget about the name. Look. Forget about Allah. Forget. Oh, sorry.
Religion as a
Forget about
concept.
Forget about Allah.
Yeah.
Forget about Elohim. That's the name. I'm talking about the concept.
Okay, so the
the attributes. Look. We as Muslims, we believe that Allah has 99 names and attributes that's affirmed in the Quran and the teachings of the Prophet. Right? We affirm that. One of his attributes that he's the Creator, Al-Khaliq. One of his attributes is Al-Khabir, that he's all aware. One of his attributes is Al-Qadir, he's all powerful. One of his attributes is all knowing. So that's what I'm trying to postulate here, that the universe cannot exist unless somebody willed for this universe to exist. Somebody must have the knowledge to bring the universe to existence. Somebody have the power.
So this is
So look at this bottle, for example.
No.
You.
No, what you? Right, no, wait a minute. Rob,
He's come late. He's
right?
come late.
No, I have come late, but I understand the gist of what you're saying. To compare gravity and to say that because you believe in gravity and you can't see it,
Yeah.
then there's somehow a parallel.
It's a
between-
false
let me
analogy.
finish.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
It's a false analogy.
Yeah, but I'm
The
using
thing
his
is-
standard. I'm using his
but
yardstick,
that's
not me.
fine. And
I
you're
don't
right,
use science.
You're right to say that we don't know, and you're right, we don't know. We don't know. I don't know how the universe started. We have some theories, and we're sort of getting there. Science has got somewhere with all of this, but we haven't got all the answers, and that's fine. But we're trying to find more answers.
Exactly. So my point is, why would you deny the existence of God? Wait, hang on.
That's what I'm
Why,
saying, you can't
no,
be
sorry.
atheist.
How can you deny? I know, but are you an atheist?
I am, yes.
He's an atheist.
Yeah.
So why? How can you deny the existence of God when we're talking about a being that is beyond the universe?
Yeah.
You
But
cannot
I
use
don't, I
science.
don't believe it exists, you see. You have faith,
No, but-
I don't.
no, hang on.
I don't
But-
have faith. There's no proof. You say this is proof of God.
Yes, this is
For
all
me,
proof.
It doesn't. No, I don't see that.
So
step.
when you see a camel passing by the desert, and when you see there's a footsteps, what?
Yeah.
There's not proof that there's a camel?
I don't.
What?
but-
This just came by itself from
no, but
nothing. I mean, come on.
There has to be an explanation.
I mean, his
as to
position
why
is much
we're
more
here.
logical than yours, with all due respect.
I don't accept
Because
your analysis.
atheism is an unnatural state.
I can't. I mean, to say that my views
It's
are
an unnatural
unrealistic,
state.
given, I mean, I don't believe.
Do you believe-
You can't belittle people because they don't believe.
No, I'm not belittling.
I don't see your evidence.
something come from
right?
nothing?
Can
something come from nothing?
I didn't say this. I've already
No, I'm asking you.
conceded.
Can something come from nothing?
No.
Okay.
No.
Can that something create itself?
Science may have an explanation.
I'm asking you,
We've
can-
got the Big Bang and we're looking
No,
at it.
no. I'm asking you.
You're going back to this
I'm asking
original
you.
thing
No,
of
I'm
it's
asking
got
you.
to be a God.
I'm asking you.
I don't. The burden of
Who
proof is
said-
not on me.
who said about?
We're not saying God.
We're not saying God.
No, no.
We're talking about the
Right.
concept.
That's what I'm saying. But let's explain. You believe in a God. This is at the crux of what
Which
we're
God?
talking
I mean,
about.
Christians believe in
Right,
God.
okay,
I don't believe in
of
the same
course.
God as Christians.
No,
I don't believe in the same God as
That's why I'm
Hinduism.
not saying any particular God. I'm just saying you believe in a supreme.
No, your
something
ego
higher.
can be your God. Your ego, your desires can be God. So you have to be more specific. I'll explain to you what Islam teaches about God. Who is God?
I don't want to know what Islam says. I've heard
Just
it
take care of
before,
yourself.
I'm not
Then
interested.
you're not genuine.
I'm not
Take care of
interested.
yourself. So we can carry on. Look, Yasha, look. Think about this, right? You're an agnostic, and I think that's a more logical position to hold than the gentleman here. Yeah, absolutely. What I'm saying to you is, if there is something that is behind the universe that brought this into existence, that something must possess knowledge, must possess consciousness.
See what there is, if there is something.
Why?
If there is something, then
So there is nothing.
By saying there is something, right? At that point, you have already acknowledged that there is a God. I'm not saying that's true. I'm saying that I consider that as a possibility, but I also consider the possibility that, like,
Let's say this is the first matter.
I don't. No. Again, so
Okay, go on.
going back, because I said this before.
Go on, Yasha.
don't understand your counter argument to it.
Okay.
Why could the universe not have existed for an infinite amount of time?
Because infinity doesn't exist in the real world.
But again, I don't see
Infinity
it.
doesn't
I
exist.
don't accept, like, with all due respect, I do not accept that as a valid argument because you've gone, infinity does not exist in the real world, so I'm going to have this thing which is not in the real world, and therefore it can be infinite.
But you don't know what's beyond that. So how can you then say, oh, it's impossible? You can't say that. I can. Do you know why? Because I'm using my sound reasoning. Look,
Don't say it's impossible.
let me
That's
ask you
my
this.
point.
Let me ask you this question, Yasha. Yeah. If I say to you that I existed before my mother, what would you say to me?
Say you're wrong. Say you're wrong.
Why am I wrong?
Because you cannot, your mother birthed you.
Prove to me.
prove to you that your mother birthed you.
No. I'm asking you, prove to me why my claim is illogical and irrational.
Because you came out of your mother.
Okay, so what did you use here? Did you use science? Did you use scientific proofs? Or did you use your rationality and reasoning? Come on, let's be honest. Forget about them. Come on.
No, because I think...
Come on. Can I exist before my biological mother? You said no. I asked you, why is my claim irrational?
Your claim, because you cannot come before your mother. Your mother was here before you came from your
And
mother.
did you use scientific experiments to come to that conclusion?
I don't need to use science. That's a very
Thank
basic
you very
thing.
much.
No, but that's
Thank you.
extremely basic. You're talking
Thank
about, You're talking about the universe. The universe
No.
is immensely
I'm saying
complex.
I'm saying with sound reasoning, you know that everything that we experience has an originator behind.
Yes, but
Wait. For example, even this bottle has its origin. It has a starting point.
Yes.
You have a starting point, right? Now, if the universe always existed,
Right.
then there's no need for the creator.
Right.
Correct?
Yes.
Okay. Can you prove to me within the universe that it existed forever?
No.
Anything? So what reasons are you using to say the universe
what do you mean
always?
anything? So say let's go down to individual atoms, right?
Okay.
How can you prove that the atoms were not there forever?
Because
Yes, they've been rearranged into trees, people, cameras.
Because we can see in the stars that there's a beginning and there's an end.
No, because stars are made of the same atoms. When a star
That's what I'm
ends,
saying. So I'm using the stars.
No. When a star ends, it becomes an iron core. They're still made up of the same atoms. Those atoms are just dispersed throughout the universe. They still exist. The atoms themselves are still there.
Yeah, but it has a starting point.
No. The star has a starting point. The atom does not.
It doesn't matter. It still. It doesn't matter. It still has a starting point. It doesn't matter.
The atom was there before the star. The atom became
Who told you
the star,
that? Who
and
told
then
you
when
that?
the star died, the atom.
Who told you the atom always existed?
Okay, so no, that was wrong. Yeah, I can't say
That's
the atom
exactly the
always
point.
existed.
So I'm asking. No.
that is
I'm
my
asking.
point. I'm saying why
No,
can't
that's
the atom have always
no.
existed?
I'm not a pure scientist. Like I don't purely go by science, right? I use my intuition, my natural inclination, and my sound reasoning to come to conclusion, right?
Same, which is why I'm agnostic and not religious.
Let me complete. But can I ask you? Okay, can we agree that there is something behind the universe? Can we agree that? Okay, so you say that nothing cannot bring into something. Okay, we ruled that out. So would you say that there must be something? Forget about God, forget about the creator, but there must be something
Outside of the universe.
outside the universe.
Because I don't know whether the universe is infinite. I'm saying the universe could be infinite. and
So
in that
show me anything in the universe that's infinite.
I can't. I'm saying like atoms. We do not know if atoms are infinite or not. That is my example. Atoms. Prove to me that atoms are not infinite.
Prove to you that
Yes.
atoms are not infinite
Yes.
because it has a beginning.
How do you know an atom?
Because the first matter brought into existence. It didn't exist at one point.
Well, an atom.
Yes.
How do you know?
Because I know. Because look, you're made up of atoms. Did you always exist?
So you? No. I'm
No,
made of
no, no,
atoms.
no, yes, yes,
Atoms,
yes.
the atoms that I am currently
No,
made
you never.
of.
No.
The atoms that I am currently made of.
You didn't-
Were at one point in a star.
No.
They were at one point in a meteor.
You look. You are made up of atoms and elements, right? And you have a beginning.
Yes.
How can you just say that atom always existed?
How
This
can
is
you say they
illogical.
don't?
Because you have a beginning. You're
I
made
have
up
a
of
beginning,
atoms.
but the atoms that I consist of.
So look,
did
even
not
this.
come in- No. So
Look. Yasha, look at this bottle. Look at this bottle. Look at this bottle. Are you saying?
I understand, but the atoms in this bottle and the atoms that I consist of, they did not materialize when this bottle materialized.
It doesn't matter if it's materialized or not. It has an origin.
Listen. The atoms.
Give me
that
one
this bottle-
scientist. Give me one scientist that says atoms always existed. I challenge you.
No, I can't. I'm saying I don't know. if
No,
they
I challenge you.
always
No,
existed.
you're using science. You're not using rationality. You're using scientific method. So I want you to name a scientist where they say that the atom always existed.
You're missing the point. I'm not saying atoms always existed.
You did.
I'm saying no. I said prove that they didn't.
Okay. You know what?
And you said
Good.
look at you.
I'm going to
had a
use the quote from
beginning.
Imam al-Ghazali. Imam al-Ghazali, he used this quote. He said, to go into great lengths for things that are already clear only obscures them. It's clear. Because if you delve into things that's already clear, it only makes you confusion. So I don't need to prove to you
You're
that...
then accepting a simplistic.
Okay, do you
view of the
exist?
world because it's simplistic.
Do you exist?
Yes.
Prove to me.
I can't prove to you as I
Why?
exist, I admit.
Because it's self-evident. There are something that's called
existence of a God is not
it's
self-evident.
called anecdotal evidence. You yourself,
Anecdotal evidence means that, like, empirical evidence, anecdotal evidence. Empirical evidence, right, is evidence that you gathered through experience. If you have not experienced God,
is that an
you cannot
invalid?
say that there's
Is that an invalid method?
No.
Okay, so I'm using empirical method I am.
You cannot.
Like gravity,
you have
like
no
gravity.
Empirical evidence
No, no,
that
like
God
no,
exists.
like gravity.
There's no empirical evidence that gravity exists. There's empirical.
So why do you
evidence-
believe in gravity?
There is empirical evidence that there is something.
No, no,
keeping
no,
us
no, no,
down
no,
to the
no.
ground.
Yasha.
And we've called that
Yasha,
gravity.
Yasha,
We do not understand.
Yasha, if you're saying there's no empirical evidence for gravity,
Yes.
then what other method did you apply to know that gravity exists?
That's my point.
No. I'm asking you. If you postulate, if you already agree that gravity exists, and there is no empirical method, there's no empirical evidence, then what other means did you come to conclusion that gravity exists?
No, gravity is not something that we've tested as. It's not something that is like. It's not necessarily a physical thing. We don't understand gravity.
No. You're not.
There is something keeping us down to the ground, and we. Have
And that's called
called
gravity.
that-
And that's called
called
gravity.
it gravity.
No, look, Yasha, I think you're misunderstanding the point. I'm not talking about, please explain to me the mechanism behind gravity. I'm asking you the existence. What other means of method did you use to come to conclusion that gravity exists apart from empirical method? That's what I'm asking you. Because you're telling me there's no empirical evidence for the existence of gravity. Okay, fine. But you believe gravity exists. So what other means did you use?
Gravity exists because there is no better explanation to why I'm currently.
So that's philosophical. So that's reasoning. So I'm asking you, why can't you reason the existence of the universe? That's what I'm asking you.
So with the existence, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm agnostic and I'm not religious. I'm saying.
Yeah,
there
so let's
could
use
be a
our
God.
reason.
There could be a God, but there is equally there may not be a God, and I don't see how you have said there is definitely.
Okay,
a God.
let me define to you who we believe to be God. Okay, we don't.
Higher power.
No, we don't.
Sorry.
That's a very vague
was
term.
giving it
No problem. Look, to a certain extent, I reject gods. Yeah, I reject the concept of God in Hinduism. I don't believe there's many gods. I don't believe in idols and statues, right? Because the idols were created in the hands of us. And yet you're telling me this idol can help us? It's ridiculous. I don't believe in the concept of God in Judaism because they attribute to God with deficiencies. They say that God rested on the seventh day, has to be refreshed. I don't believe in that. What I do believe is Allah, there's a chapter in the Quran which is called Surah Al-Ikhlas. It says, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Qul huwa Allahu ahad. Say He's Allah, one and only. Not one in three, not one in two. No, one, sorry, if I can just finish, one and only. Allahu samad. Allah, the self-sufficient. The one whom everyone depends upon, but He doesn't depend on anyone. Lam yalid wa lam yulad. He begets not nor is He begotten. Yeah, He doesn't have father, He doesn't have children, right? And He was not born because He always existed. One lam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad. There's nothing like unto Him. So in Islam, we have no representation of God. We don't give God to images or carved statues. Why? Because we don't know how God looks like. However, we affirm His existence. That is the concept of God I'm talking about. Don't get confused with Christianity and Judaism. Do you have any problem with that definition of God?
Yes.
Why?
This is a big issue that I have with religion in general, because in my mind there's two ways that you can interpret religion. You can interpret religion literally, which is what you do, or you can use religion metaphorically. So when I used to be Christian, right,
Okay.
I would never interpret Christianity literally. I never believed that there was a literal God and He came down. I always interpreted it metaphorically. The reason that God has physical attributes in those religions.
What do you mean physical attributes? What do you mean by that?
Physical limitations, like He rested on the seventh day, whatever, right?
Okay.
It's because they are stories that are made for us to live our lives by. They're like morals. It's like the Bible is a book of morals, essentially. That's the way there's different ways of viewing it.
Okay.
And you can view it literally. You view the Quran literally, as far as I'm aware. You believe that there is literally everything.
The verbatim words of God, yes.
Everything that
Allah.
was said in the Quran literally happened.
Yes.
That, in my mind, goes directly against what's been scientifically proven already.
No, not necessarily, because you can't use scientific method to prove or disprove God. That's the whole point.
Exactly, no, but there are certain
That's the
things
whole
like, say,
point.
evolution. That is, in my mind, a much better explanation.
No.
of how
See,
we came about.
no.
than
We're not
was
talking
formed
about.
by a God.
No. Evolution. You're already assuming that something already existed. That's what evolution is. Evolution is just an explanation of transforming from something into
Again,
something.
I
But I'm
cannot tell
asking.
you how the first organism came into fruition.
Right. So okay, fine.
I also
So let's
don't
use
know how you can tell me that a God.
But let's use our sound reasoning. Let's use proofs.
Well, you keep saying sound reasoning again. Like, just listen to what I'm saying, right?
Okay, go
I do
on.
not understand how you telling me a God caused the first single-celled organism to exist. I don't understand how that's any more rational than saying it came.
But just like you said,
quantum
hang on.
something like that.
In my opinion, that's double standards because you just told me that I do affirm gravity exists, but we don't know too much about the mechanism. So why do you expect me to know everything about God?
Don't expect you to know.
No, I affirm God's existence, but I'm asking you, rationally, logically speaking, using our sound reasoning and the universal knowledge that we all know, you see here, this tree has a beginning. You have a beginning, right? Now, if everything has a beginning, there must be an originator behind.
I don't agree with that.
You don't agree with that?
No.
Let's agree to disagree. Okay, cool. Now, nice to meet you, Yasha, man. Go, man. Speak to you. Take care.
Pleasure. Thank you. Clarify.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Yes, sir? No problem. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brothers and sisters, I hope you're doing well, inshallah. This was a long discussion, long conversation. I don't particularly like long conversation, but I felt like the discussion was going somewhere until it came to a breaking point. We spoke to an agnostic who's not sure if there is God or not. So we gave him the arguments from the Quran, you know, the fitrah, you know, everyone has the natural inclination to know that there is the creator, right? And that there's a powerful argument in the Quran that, you know, you weren't created from nothing, you didn't create yourself. So the only logical, rational explanation that we have is there must be the creator who's existed. However, he goes into evolution, all of that. Evolution doesn't disprove or prove the existence of God, because evolution already assumes that something already exists. But I'm not talking about evolution, I'm talking about the origin behind. So that's what myself and Hamza are trying to address. I don't think Yasha understood, but we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide him to Islam. Ameen. And we ask Allah azza wa jal to accept our da'wah and to forgive any mistakes that we made and to purify intentions. Ameen. Jazakallah khair for listening. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Do you want to say anything?
I said it all.
Okay, then cool.